I can still feel his hand on my throat, not choking, just there, a silent promise that I belong to him now. 24 hours ago, I was Matteo Rossi's fiancée, dreaming of a safe political marriage. Now I'm a prisoner in a penthouse that smells like leather and danger, owned by a man they call the Wolf. And the worst part? My body betrays me every time he's near. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Yesterday morning, I woke up in my childhood bedroom, believing I understood my future. Sunlight filtered through lace curtains, and I could hear my mother humming in the kitchen, probably fussing over last-minute wedding details. In exactly 24 hours, I would marry Matteo Rossi, the charming younger son of the most powerful Mafia family in the city. It wasn't a love match. I wasn't naive enough to believe in fairy tales. Not in our world, but Matteo was kind, modern. He made me laugh. He talked about expanding the family's legitimate businesses, about moving away from the violence that had defined our parents' generation. He made me feel safe. I should have known better. I was choosing my earrings, simple pearls, nothing ostentatious, when my phone buzzed. A text from Matteo. Lorenzo wants to see us both. His office, 1 hour. Don't be late, Bella. My stomach tightened. Lorenzo, the older brother, the Don. I'd only seen Lorenzo Rossi a handful of times over the past year, always at a distance during family gatherings. He never approached me, never spoke to me directly, but I always knew when he was watching. I could feel his gaze like a physical weight, heavy and unrelenting. Dark eyes that tracked my every movement with an intensity that made my skin prickle. Matteo laughed it off when I mentioned it once. Lorenzo's just protective of the family, he'd said, kissing my temple. He takes his role seriously. Don't worry about him. But I did worry, because men like Lorenzo Rossi didn't just watch. They calculated, they planned, they hunted. The Rossi compound sat on the edge of the city like a fortress, all stone walls and iron gates. I'd been here dozens of times for dinners and meetings, but today felt different. The guards at the entrance watched me with something that looked like pity as they waved my car through. My driver, one of my father's men, kept glancing at me in the rearview mirror, his jaw tight. "Everything okay, Marco?" I asked. He didn't answer. Just pulled up to the main house and opened my door with hands that trembled slightly. The first sign something was wrong. Matteo was already inside, pacing the marble foyer like a caged animal. His usually perfect hair was disheveled, his tie loose. When he saw me, relief flooded his face. "Chiara, thank God," he grabbed my hands, and I noticed his palms were sweating. "Listen to me. Whatever happens in there, just stay calm, okay? Let me handle this." "Handle what?" "Matteo, you're scaring me." "It's going to be fine," he said, but his voice cracked. "I'll fix this, I promise." Before I could press him further, the double doors to Lorenzo's study opened. A man I didn't recognize, tall, built like a soldier, with a scar running down his jaw, stood in the doorway. "The Don will see you now." Matteo's grip on my hand tightened painfully. We walked through those doors together, and my life as I knew it ended. Lorenzo's study was exactly what I expected. Dark wood, leather, floor-to-ceiling bookcases, filled with first editions that I suspected he'd actually read. A massive desk dominated the room, and behind it, backlit by the window overlooking the estate grounds, sat the Wolf himself. Lorenzo Rossi didn't stand when we entered. He simply watched us approach, his posture deceptively relaxed, one hand resting on the desk, the other hidden from view. He wore all black, shirt, slacks, even his watch was matte black. And the color should have washed him out, but instead it made him look like a shadow given form. Dangerous, primal, beautiful in the way a knife is beautiful. His eyes found mine immediately, and I felt that familiar jolt of awareness, stronger now in close quarters. He looked at me the way a starving man looks at a feast, with a hunger so intense it bordered on pain. Then his gaze dropped deliberately, slowly, dragging down my body with such blatant possession that heat flooded my cheeks. "Sit." His voice was low, rough, like gravel and smoke. Matteo moved toward the chairs in front of the desk, pulling me with him. I sat because my knees were trembling, and I hated that Lorenzo probably noticed. "Do you know why you're here?" Lorenzo asked. He still hadn't looked at his brother. His entire focus was on me. and I felt pinned by it, unable to look away. No, I managed. The truth, Kiara. My name in his mouth sounded obscene, intimate, like he had the right to use it. You're a smart woman. You know exactly how our world works. You understand the concept of debts and payment. Matteo leaned forward. Lorenzo, we discussed this. Shut your mouth. Lorenzo's tone didn't rise, but the command in it was absolute. Matteo fell silent like a dog that had been kicked. I'm speaking to your fiancé. Or should I say, my fiancé. The world tilted. What? The word came out as a whisper. Lorenzo finally moved, standing with the fluid grace of a predator. He was taller than I remembered, broader, and as he rounded the desk, I pressed back in my chair instinctively. He noticed. Of course he noticed. A small, dark smile curved his lips. The marriage pact between the Moretti and Rossi families, he said, stopping directly in front of me. Too close. Close enough that I could smell him, sandalwood, and something darker. Something that made my hindbrain scream danger. It was created to repay a debt. Your father saved my father's life. In exchange, a union between our families was arranged. With Matteo, I said, I'm marrying Matteo. No. Lorenzo crouched down, bringing himself to my eye level, and my breath caught. This close, I could see gold flecks in his dark eyes, could see the shadow of stubble on his sharp jaw, could see the way his gaze kept dropping to my mouth. You're marrying me. The pact stated a union with a Rossi son. It didn't specify which one. And as Don, as head of this family, I'm invoking my right to claim what is owed. You can't, Matteo started. Lorenzo's hand moved so fast I barely saw it. One moment he was focused on me, the next he had Matteo by the throat, lifting him half out of his chair. I can do whatever I want, little brother. I am the law in this family. Your engagement to Chiara was a courtesy I extended. I'm revoking it. He released Matteo, who collapsed back, gasping. Lorenzo's attention returned to me, and the shift was jarring, from brutal violence to dark fascination in a heartbeat. This is insane, I whispered. You can't just, I don't even know you. You will. He reached out and I flinched, but he didn't stop. His fingers caught my chin, tilting my face up, forcing me to meet his eyes. His touch was warm, firm, and I hated the way my skin burned where he made contact. You will know every part of me, Chiara. Every dark corner, every sin, every need. His thumb brushed across my lower lip, and my entire body went rigid. The touch was possessive, claiming, and something hot and forbidden unfurled low in my belly. I jerked back, and he let me go, that dark smile returning. I won't do this, I said, proud that my voice didn't shake. I'll refuse. My father will never allow. Your father has already agreed. The words hit like a physical blow. No. Call him if you don't believe me. Lorenzo straightened, moving back to his desk with that same predatory grace. He picked up his phone, held it out to me. Go ahead. Ask Antonio Moretti if he's willing to break a blood oath with the Rossi family over his daughter's preferences. I didn't take the phone. We both knew what my father would say. In our world, family alliances were currency, and daughters were the price paid. I'd accepted that when I agreed to marry Matteo. But this was different. This was a cage, not a partnership. The wedding is tomorrow, Lorenzo continued, pocketing his phone. Same time, same venue. The only change is the groom. I suggest you prepare yourself. Go to hell. The words escaped before I could stop them. Matteo made a strangled sound. The scarred man by the door tensed. But Lorenzo just laughed. A dark, genuine sound that sent shivers down my spine. I've been there, Dolcezza. I've been burning there since the first moment I saw you. He moved toward me again, and this time I stood, refusing to be cornered. We faced each other, and I realized with a shock that I had to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. He was so close I could feel the heat radiating from his body. You can fight this. You can rage and scheme and plot. But the outcome is already decided. You belong to me now. I belong to myself. No. His hand came up, cupping the back of my neck, thumb pressing against my racing pulse. The touch was dominant, possessive, and my body responded despite my mind screaming protests. You belong to me, your father's debt, my right as Dawn, the marriage pact. Those are just excuses. Pretty lies to dress up the truth. The real reason you're mine? He leaned in, his lips brushing my ear, his breath hot against my skin. Because I decided you were. The moment I saw you at the Castellano Gala last year, wearing that red dress, laughing at something your friend said, I knew you were mine, and I always take what's mine. I shoved against his chest, and he let me create distance, that infuriating smile still playing on his lips. You're insane. Probably. He didn't sound bothered by the assessment. Mateo, take her home. Make sure she understands the consequences of defiance. Chiara will be delivered to my home tonight at 8 o'clock. Not the family compound, my penthouse in the city. Have her belongings sent separately. Tonight, the word came out strangled. The wedding isn't until tomorrow. The wedding is a formality. You became mine the moment I claimed you. I'm simply done waiting. Lorenzo's eyes burned into mine. 8 o'clock, Chiara. Don't make me come collect you. The drive back to my family's estate was silent, except for Mateo's bitter muttering. I couldn't process what had just happened. Couldn't reconcile the charming man I'd been engaged to with the pale, trembling coward beside me, or the future I'd imagined with the dark reality Lorenzo had outlined. I'll fix this, Mateo kept saying. I'll find a way. He can't just... But he could. We both knew it. My mother was crying when I walked through the door. My father stood in his study, staring out the window with his hands clasped behind his back. When I entered, he didn't turn around. Papa. The alliance must stand, he said, his voice flat. Lorenzo Rossi is well within his rights. I cannot, will not, break a blood oath. So you'll just hand me over to a man I don't know? A man who just decided he wanted me? You will do your duty to this family, Chiara. Finally, he turned, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before, fear. Lorenzo Rossi is the most powerful Don in 3 states. If we refuse him, he will destroy us. Every business, every alliance, every protection we have will disappear. Do you understand? I understood. I was being sacrificed. Again. By 7:30, I was packed. My mother helped me with shaking hands, folding dresses, and choosing jewelry while tears ran down her face. She didn't try to comfort me with lies. She just kissed my forehead and whispered, "Be smart, be strong, survive." The car that came for me at exactly 8 o'clock was a black SUV with tinted windows. The same scarred man from Lorenzo's office opened the door, and I saw the gun holstered at his hip. Ms. Moretti, I climbed in because what choice did I have? Run? Where would I go that Lorenzo couldn't find me? Fight? Against what? The combined power of both our families, the unbreakable rules of our world? The city lights blurred past the windows as we drove through downtown. The SUV pulled into an underground garage of a gleaming high-rise, and I was escorted to a private elevator that required a keycard. We rode in silence to the top floor, the penthouse. The doors opened directly into the apartment, and my breath caught despite myself. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the glittering city. Modern furniture in blacks and grays. Expensive art on the walls. Everything sleek and masculine and designed to intimidate. And there, standing by the windows with a glass of what looked like scotch in his hand, was Lorenzo. He'd changed from the suit into black slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, exposing forearms corded with muscle. He looked more relaxed here, in his territory, but no less dangerous. When he turned and saw me, something fierce and possessive flashed across his face. "Leave us," he said to the scarred man, never taking his eyes off me. The elevator doors closed. We were alone. Lorenzo set down his glass and walked toward me with that same predatory grace. I forced myself to stand my ground, to lift my chin and meet his gaze even as my heart hammered against my ribs. "Welcome home, Dolcezza," he said, and the intimacy in his voice made my skin prickle. "Let me show you where you'll be staying." "I'm not staying. This is..." He moved so fast I didn't have time to react. One moment he was 3 feet away, the next his hand was wrapped around my throat, not squeezing, just there, his thumb resting against my racing pulse, his fingers warm against my skin. The touch was a promise and a threat all at once. "You are staying," he said softly, his face inches from mine. "You are mine now. The sooner you accept that, the easier this will be." I should have been terrified. Some part of me was. But another part, a part I didn't want to acknowledge, felt that touch like a brand, felt heat pooling low in my belly, felt my body sway toward him before I could stop it. He noticed. Of course he noticed. His eyes darkened, pupils dilating, and his grip on my throat tightened just slightly. "You feel it too," he murmured, more to himself than to me. "This thing between us. You can hate me, Kiara. You can fight me, but you can't deny the chemistry." "Chemistry isn't enough," I whispered. "No, but it's a start." He released my throat, his fingers trailing down to my collarbone, my shoulder, my arm, before he stepped back. The loss of his touch left me cold. "Your room is down that hall, second door on the left. Your things will arrive within the hour. We'll have dinner at 9. I'm not hungry. You'll eat anyway. I won't have you making yourself sick out of spite." He picked up his scotch again, took a slow sip, his eyes never leaving mine. "Get settled. Change. Dinner is not optional." I wanted to argue, wanted to scream. Instead, I turned on my heel and walked down the hall he'd indicated, feeling his gaze burning into my back the entire way. The room was beautiful, a massive bed with crisp white linens, another wall of windows, a door that led to a marble bathroom that looked like something from a magazine. But beautiful didn't change what it was, a gilded cage. I stood at the window, looking out at the city lights, and tried to understand how my life had imploded in less than 12 hours. This morning, I'd been preparing for a wedding I could live with. Now I was trapped in a penthouse with a man who looked at me like I was his entire world and his greatest sin all at once. A man who terrified me. A man whose touch made me burn. I heard a soft knock, and my suitcases were brought in by silent staff, who disappeared before I could speak. I changed mechanically, choosing a simple black dress because it felt like armor. When I emerged at 9 o'clock, Lorenzo was in the dining room, seated at the head of a table that could seat 12, but was set for 2. He stood when I entered. Always the gentleman, always the monster. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the chair at his right. Not at the opposite end, close, intimate. I sat because I was choosing my battles, conserving my strength. A staff member I hadn't seen before appeared with plates, some kind of pasta that smelled incredible despite my roiling stomach. Lorenzo dismissed them with a gesture, and we were alone again. "Eat," he commanded. I picked up my fork, took a bite. The food was excellent, and I hated that my body responded to basic needs even while my mind was in chaos. Lorenzo watched me eat with that same intense focus. "Ask me," he finally said. "Ask you what?" "Whatever questions are running through that brilliant mind." "I can see them, Kiara. You're trying to understand, so ask." I set down my fork. "Why me? If you could have claimed the marriage pact at any time, why wait until the night before my wedding to Matteo?" His jaw tightened. "Because I'm a selfish bastard who thought he could let you go. I thought if I gave you to Matteo, if I didn't touch you, didn't claim you, the obsession would fade." He leaned back in his chair, his eyes dark and tortured. "It didn't fade, it grew. Every day, every time I saw you with him, it got worse. And then I discovered things about my brother. Things that made it impossible to let you marry him." "What things?" "Matteo is not the man you think he is. The kindness, the charm, it's a mask. Underneath, he's weak, cruel. He enjoys hurting those who can't fight back." Lorenzo's voice was hard, controlled fury. "I have proof, files, testimonies. I will show you if you don't believe me, but understand this. I did not take you to hurt you, Kiara. I took you to save you." I wanted to call him a liar, wanted to believe Matteo was exactly who he'd seemed. But I remembered the way Matteo had crumpled in Lorenzo's office, the fear in his eyes, the way he'd let Lorenzo choke him without fighting back. "That doesn't give you the right to kidnap me," I said. "No, it doesn't." He met my eyes, and for the first time I saw something raw in his expression. "But I did it anyway. Because the thought of you belonging to anyone else makes me want to burn the world down. Because I've been watching you for a year, Kiara, learning everything about you. Your favorite coffee order, the way you bite your lip when you're thinking, how you volunteer at the children's hospital every Thursday, the books you read, the music you listen to. I know you and I want you, and I'm not a good enough man to let you go." My hands were shaking. You've been stalking me. Yes. The bald admission was somehow worse than a lie. You're insane. I believe we've established that. He stood, moved around the table, and crouched beside my chair the way he had in his office. Close enough to touch, close enough that I could see the gold flecks in his eyes, the shadow of stubble on his jaw, the barely controlled intensity that radiated from him. I'm obsessed with you, Kiara. I have been since the moment I first saw you. And now that I have you, now that you're finally mine, I'm never letting you go. His hand came up, cupping my face, thumb brushing my cheekbone. The touch was gentle, reverent, completely at odds with the dark possession in his eyes. I should have pulled away, should have slapped him. Instead, I sat frozen, my body warring with my mind, heat pooling in places that had no business responding to my captor. I hate you, I whispered. I know. His thumb traced my lower lip, and my breath hitched. Hate me all you want. Fight me, rage against me. But you will be my wife tomorrow. You will stand beside me and say the vows. And eventually, Dolcezza, you will understand that I am the only man who can handle you. The only man strong enough to match you. He leaned in, and for one heart-stopping moment, I thought he was going to kiss me. My lips parted involuntarily, my pulse hammered. My body leaned toward him, but he stopped, his mouth a breath away from mine, his eyes locked on my lips with such naked hunger it stole my breath. Not yet, he murmured, and I heard the strain in his voice, saw the tension in his jaw as he fought for control. When I kiss you, when I finally taste you, it will be because you ask for it, because you need it as much as I do. He pulled back, standing abruptly, and I saw his hands clench into fists at his sides. Go to bed, Kiara. Tomorrow will be a long day. I stood on shaking legs and walked back to my room, feeling his eyes on me the entire way. I closed the door, locked it uselessly, we both knew he could get through if he wanted, and collapsed onto the bed. My skin still remembers the weight of his hand at my throat, the ghost of his thumb on my lip, and that terrible, shameful heat that flooded my body at his touch. Tomorrow I'm marrying a man who terrifies me, a man who wants to own me, a man who looks at me like I'm his salvation and his damnation. And worse, some traitorous part of me wants to let him. I don't sleep. How can I, when every time I close my eyes, I see Lorenzo's face inches from mine, feel his hand on my throat, hear his voice saying you belong to me like it's the most natural thing in the world? At some point in the early morning hours, I hear movement outside my door, footsteps, a pause. I hold my breath, waiting for the handle to turn, but it doesn't. After a long moment, the footsteps retreat. He was checking on me, making sure I hadn't done something stupid like try to climb out a 20-story window. When dawn finally breaks, painting the city in shades of gold and pink, I'm still sitting by the window in yesterday's dress. A soft knock makes me turn. Ms. Moretti, a woman's voice, accented. I'm here to help you prepare. I open the door to find an older woman with kind eyes and steel-gray hair pulled into a neat bun. She's carrying a garment bag and what looks like a makeup case. I'm Maria, she says. I've worked for the Rossi family for 30 years. I helped raise Lorenzo and Matteo when their mother passed. She steps inside without waiting for invitation, laying the garment bag across the bed. The Dawn thought you might appreciate a woman's presence this morning. How thoughtful of my kidnapper. I don't need help, I say. Nevertheless. She unzips the garment bag, and my breath catches. The wedding dress is exquisite. Ivory silk that catches the morning light. Elegant and understated, with delicate lace at the shoulders. It's nothing like the dress I'd chosen for my wedding to Matteo, which had been all tulle and crystals. This dress is sophisticated, mature, beautiful. I hate that Lorenzo somehow knew exactly what I'd choose if I had real freedom. He picked this himself, Maria says softly, watching my face. Spent hours with the designer. He was very specific about what you'd like. He doesn't know what I like, doesn't he? She tilts her head. Lorenzo has always been observant, even as a boy. He sees things others miss. I want to argue, but what's the point? In a few hours, I'll be wearing this dress and marrying a man I've known for less than 24 hours. A man who admitted to stalking me. a man whose touch makes me burn, despite every logical thought in my head. Maria helps me shower. I'm too exhausted to protest. And then sits me down to work on my hair. Her hands are gentle, skilled, transforming my tangled mess into something elegant. As she works, she talks. Lorenzo's father was a hard man, she says quietly. Brutal, he believed love was weakness, so he taught his sons never to care for anything. Matteo learned that lesson too well. He cares for nothing but himself. But Lorenzo, she meets my eyes in the mirror. Lorenzo fought it. He tried so hard to not become his father, and then he lost someone he loved. And it broke something in him, made him believe his father was right. Who did he lose? That's his story to tell. She pins a delicate piece of lace into my hair. But I will tell you this, I have never seen Lorenzo look at anyone the way he looks at you. Whatever his methods, whatever darkness drives him, his feelings are real, terrifying perhaps, obsessive certainly, but real. I don't know what to do with that information. By the time Maria finishes, I look like a bride. The dress fits perfectly, hugging my curves before flowing to the floor. The lace on my shoulders is delicate, feminine. My hair is swept up with a few curls framing my face. Maria's makeup is subtle, natural, just enough to highlight my features. I look beautiful. I look like a woman walking to her execution. At exactly 10 o'clock, there's a knock on my door. My heart lurches. Come in, I say, and hate how steady my voice sounds. Lorenzo enters, and the sight of him steals my breath. He's wearing a black suit tailored so perfectly it looks painted on, with a crisp white shirt and a black tie. His dark hair is pushed back, his jaw clean-shaven. He looks like sin and salvation wrapped in Italian wool. His eyes lock on me, and for a moment he goes completely still. Just stares, his expression unreadable except for the intensity burning in his gaze. Then he moves toward me with that predatory grace, stopping close enough that I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. Bellissima, he breathes. His hand comes up, cupping my face, thumb brushing my cheekbone. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I should say something cutting, should push him away. But the raw reverence in his voice, the way he's looking at me like I'm something precious and breakable, it makes my throat tight. I didn't have a choice about the dress, I manage. I know. His thumb traces my lower lip, and my breath catches. But you're wearing it anyway. That takes strength, Dolcezza. To walk into hell with your head high. Is that what this is? Hell? For both of us. He leans in, his lips brushing my ear. You think this is easy for me? Having you this close, looking like this, knowing I can't touch you the way I want, knowing you hate me, it's torture, Chiara. The sweetest torture I've ever known. His breath is warm against my skin. His scent, sandalwood and something darker, surrounds me. My body sways toward him before I can stop it, and his arm comes around my waist, steadying me, pulling me against him. I can feel every hard plane of his body, can feel his heart hammering against my palm, where it's pressed to his chest, can feel the tension vibrating through him, the barely controlled need. Lorenzo, I whisper, and I don't even know what I'm asking for. He makes a sound low in his throat, half growl, half groan, and his hand slides up my spine to grip the back of my neck. Say my name like that again, and I'll forget every promise I made myself about going slow. What promises? That I wouldn't take you until you were ready, that I'd give you time to adjust, that I wouldn't let this obsession consume you the way it's consumed me. His forehead drops to mine, his eyes closed, his breathing ragged. But you make it hard to keep those promises. I should be afraid, should push him away, but standing here in his arms, feeling his control fracture, feeling the evidence of how much he wants me, I feel powerful, dangerous. The car is waiting, he says finally, pulling back with visible effort. His eyes are dark, wild, and his hands shake slightly as he releases me. Are you ready? No. Good answer. A ghost of a smile. Honesty is something, at least. The chapel is small, private, tucked away in the oldest part of the city. Lorenzo's hand is firm on my lower back as he guides me inside, and I see faces I recognize. Family members, business associates, all watching with carefully neutral expressions. My parents sit in the front row. My mother is crying. My father won't meet my eyes. Mateo isn't here. I don't know if that's a mercy or an insult. The ceremony is short. The priest's words wash over me in a haze. I hear myself say the vows, hear Lorenzo's deep voice repeating them, but it doesn't feel real. None of this feels real. Until Lorenzo slides a ring onto my finger, a stunning diamond that catches the light and says, "With this ring, I thee wed." Then it's real, too real. You may kiss the bride. Lorenzo's hand cups my face, tilting it up. His eyes search mine for a long moment, and I see conflict there, hunger and restraint warring. Then he leans in and kisses me. It's nothing like I expected, not brutal or claiming, soft, almost gentle. His lips move against mine with a tenderness that makes my chest ache, and when I gasp, shocked by the sweetness, his tongue sweeps into my mouth with devastating skill. Heat explodes through me, my hands fist in his jacket, pulling him closer instead of pushing him away, and I feel his arms tighten around me, feel the groan that rumbles in his chest. The kiss deepens, turns hungry, and I'm drowning in sensation, his taste, his scent, the way he's holding me like I'm the only thing keeping him anchored to earth. Someone clears their throat loudly, and Lorenzo pulls back with visible reluctance. His eyes are molten, his breathing harsh. "Mine," he murmurs against my lips. Finally mine. The reception is a blur. Toasts I don't hear, food I don't taste. Dancing with Lorenzo while everyone watches. His hand possessive on my waist, his body pressed against mine. "Smile," he murmurs. "Dolcezza. Give them the show they expect." I can't. Yes, you can. You're stronger than you think. His hand slides lower on my back, intimate, claiming. "Just a few more hours. Then I'm taking you home and we can drop the pretense." What pretense? That I'm a civilized man. That you don't affect me like a drug. His lips brush my ear. That I don't want to drag you out of here right now and make you scream my name. My breath hitches. Heat pools low in my belly, shameful and undeniable. "Lorenzo." I know, I feel it too. His hand fists in the fabric at my waist. "This thing between us, it's not going away, Kara. Fighting it just makes it stronger." When we finally leave, it's nearly midnight. Lorenzo ushers me into the back of the SUV, and the moment the door closes, the energy shifts. We're alone in the dimly lit interior, and the air feels electric. He doesn't touch me during the drive, but I'm hyper-aware of him beside me, the heat of his body, the tension in his frame. The way his hands clench and unclench on his thighs, like he's fighting not to reach for me. Back at the penthouse, he follows me inside, and I hear the elevator doors close with a finality that makes my pulse race. "Kiara," his voice is strained. "Go to your room." I turn to face him. "What?" "Go now, before I—" He cuts himself off, running a hand through his hair, destroying the perfect styling. "I made promises. I won't break them, but you need to go before I lose control completely." Something reckless rises in me. Maybe it's the champagne. Maybe it's the way he's looking at me like I'm his salvation. Maybe it's the simple fact that for the first time in my life, I have power over someone. "What if I don't want to go?" His eyes flash. Don't what? Don't question you? Don't have a choice?" I step closer. "You said when you kissed me, it would be because I asked for it. I'm asking." "Damn, the word is a prayer and a curse. You don't know what you're doing? Then show me." He moves so fast, I gasp. One moment he's across the room, the next he has me pressed against the wall, his body caging mine, his hands on either side of my head. His face is inches from mine, his breathing ragged. "You want to know what happens when you push me?" His voice is rough, dangerous. "When you look at me like that? When you ask me to show you?" "Yes." He kisses me like he's drowning, and I'm air. His mouth claims mine with a hunger that borders on violence, and I open for him, meeting his intensity with my own. His hands are everywhere, gripping my waist, sliding up my sides, tangling in my hair, and I'm clutching at him just as desperately. He lifts me, and my legs wrap around his waist instinctively. I can feel every hard inch of him pressed against me, and when he grinds into me, I moan into his mouth. "Dio," he groans, tearing his lips from mine to drag them down my throat. "You're going to kill me." His teeth scrape my pulse point, and pleasure shoots through me like lightning. My head falls back, giving him access, and he takes full advantage, kissing, biting, sucking marks into my skin that I'll see tomorrow. "Lorenzo," I gasp, and his hips buck against me reflexively. "Say it again." "Lorenzo, please." He carries me like I weigh nothing, his mouth never leaving my skin. I think he's taking me to his bedroom, and panic and anticipation war in my chest. But he stops in the living room, setting me on the edge of the couch, his hands going to the lace at my shoulders. "Tell me to stop," he says, his fingers trembling as they trace my collarbone. "Tell me this is too much, too fast, and I'll walk away." I should. This is insane. I've known this man for one day. He kidnapped me, forced me into marriage. Every logical part of my brain is screaming at me to push him away. But my body, my traitorous, aching body, wants this, wants him. And I'm so tired of being powerless, of having my choices taken from me. This, at least, I can choose. "Don't stop," I whisper. The sound he makes is inhuman. His control shatters, and suddenly his hands are everywhere, unzipping my dress, sliding the silk down my shoulders, exposing me to his hungry gaze. I'm wearing white lace underneath, delicate and bridal, and the way he looks at me makes me feel like a goddess. "Bellissima," he breathes, his hands spanning my waist, thumbs brushing the underside of my breasts. So perfect, so mine. He kisses me again, lowering me back onto the couch, his body covering mine. I can feel the hard planes of his chest through his shirt, feel the evidence of his arousal pressing against my core, and when he rocks into me, pleasure sparks through my entire body. "Touch me," I hear myself say, and I barely recognize my own voice, needy, desperate. Lorenzo's hand slides up my thigh, pushing my dress higher, and when his touch finds the place where I'm already aching for him, we both groan. He knows exactly what he's doing to me, how ready I am for him, and his control fractures further. "Chiara, what you do to me." His hand finds a slow, devastating rhythm, and my body arches toward him before I can stop it. "I want to taste every inch of you. Want to unravel you until you forget your own name. Want to be so deep in your life that you'll never be free of me." "Yes," I gasp, beyond shame, beyond reason. His fingers hook into the lace, and for one heart-stopping moment I think he's going to tear it away, going to take me right here on the couch. But then he stops, goes rigid. His breathing is harsh, labored, and I can feel him shaking with the effort of holding back. "No," he says roughly, and pulls away, leaving me cold and aching. "Not like this." "Lorenzo." "Not like this," he repeats, standing and adjusting himself with a grimace. He looks wrecked, hair disheveled, lips swollen, shirt untucked. "I won't take you in anger or revenge or whatever this is. I won't have our first time be something you regret in the morning." I sit up, pulling my dress back over my shoulders. Shame flooding me. You're overwhelmed, exhausted. You've been through hell in the last 24 hours. He crouches in front of me, cupping my face with surprising gentleness. "When I make love to my wife, it will be because she wants me, not because she's trying to reclaim some semblance of control. Not because she's running from her feelings." The insight cuts deep because he's right. I was using him, using this, trying to take back power in the only way I knew how. "I hate that you see through me," I whisper. "I know." He kisses my forehead, achingly tender. "Go to bed, Dolcezza. Sleep. Tomorrow we'll figure out what happens next." I stand on shaking legs and walk to my room, feeling his eyes on me. When I close the door, I hear him say something in Italian, low, tortured, and then the sound of glass shattering. I lean against the door and slide to the floor, my body still aching, my mind in chaos. I almost let him have me, almost gave myself to the man who stole me. And the worst part? I wanted it. 3 days pass in a strange, tense limbo. Lorenzo goes to work during the day, leaving me in the penthouse with Maria and silent guards stationed at every exit. He returns each evening for dinner, and we sit across from each other, making careful conversation, both of us hyper-aware of the electric tension that crackles between us. He doesn't touch me, doesn't push, just watches with those dark, hungry eyes, while I slowly lose my mind. I spend my days exploring my cage, reading the books in Lorenzo's extensive library, staring out at the city and plotting escapes I know are futile. I find his office one afternoon. The door isn't locked, which seems like a test. And inside, I discover filing cabinets, a computer, a wall of monitors showing security feeds, and a locked drawer in his desk. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. But I need to understand who this man really is, what he's hiding, why he really took me. It takes me 2 days to find where he hides the key, taped to the underside of a bookshelf, of all places. The third day, when I'm certain he's at a meeting across town, I unlock the drawer. Inside are files, dozens of them. I pull out the first one and my breath catches. It's about me. Photos of me at the hospital where I volunteer. Transcripts of conversations. A list of my favorite books, my coffee order. Every detail of my life meticulously documented. My hands shake as I flip through page after page of evidence of his obsession. He wasn't exaggerating. He really has been watching me for a year. But beneath my file, I find another. This one labeled Matteo Rossi. I shouldn't look, but I do, and I wish I hadn't. Photos, medical records, testimony from women, some I recognize from society events, describing abuse, cruelty, things that make my stomach turn. One woman's statement includes photos of bruises, of cigarette burns, of... I close the file, my hands shaking, bile rising in my throat. Lorenzo was telling the truth. Matteo is a monster. Find what you were looking for. I spin to find Lorenzo leaning against the doorframe, his expression unreadable. He's still in his suit, but his tie is loosened, his jacket discarded. He looks exhausted. How long have you been standing there? My voice comes out strangled. Long enough. He moves into the room, and I instinctively back up. He notices, and something pained flashes across his face. I left the drawer unlocked on purpose, Kiara. I wanted you to find it. Wanted you to see the truth. You've been spying on me for a year. Yes. You documented every aspect of my life. Yes. That's insane, Lorenzo. That's not love. That's obsession. I never claimed it was love. He moves closer, and I'm trapped between him and the desk. I told you from the beginning what this was. Obsession, need. An addiction I can't break. I never lied to you about what I am. And Matteo? I gesture to the closed file. Those things in there are all true. Every word, every photo. His jaw clenches. I have more evidence if you need it. Testimony from his household staff. Security footage. He's careful, my brother. He chooses victims who can't fight back, who won't be believed. But I've been building a case against him for months. Why? Why would you care? Because he's a stain on our family. Because he's weak and cruel and everything my father raised him to be. Lorenzo's hand slams down on the desk beside me, making me jump. And because the thought of him touching you, hurting you, it made me want to kill him with my bare hands. I should be afraid, should push him away. But standing here, seeing the raw emotion in his eyes, I realize something. Lorenzo is just as trapped as I am. Trapped by his obsession, his need, his desperate attempt to protect me from his own brother. You could have just told me, I whisper, about Matteo. You could have shown me this before the wedding. Would you have believed me? Or would you have thought I was lying to justify stealing you? He cups my face, and I don't pull away. I needed you to find it yourself. Needed you to see the truth without me forcing it on you. I don't know what to believe anymore. Believe this. He leans in, his forehead resting against mine. Everything I've done, every choice I've made, it's been to keep you safe, even if that meant making you hate me, even if it meant becoming the monster in your story. Lorenzo, the sound of shattering glass cuts me off. Lorenzo's head snaps up, his body going rigid. Then I hear it, shouting, gunfire, chaos erupting from somewhere in the building. Stay here, Lorenzo orders, pulling a gun from his desk drawer. Lock the door behind me. Don't open it for anyone but me. What's happening? Matteo, the word is a growl. He's finally made his move. Lorenzo is gone before I can argue, the door slamming behind him. I hear the lock click. He's sealed me in. Another crash, closer now, and the sharp crack of gunfire makes me flinch. I should hide, should crawl under the desk and wait for this to be over like a good, obedient wife. Instead, I grab the second gun from Lorenzo's drawer, because of course there's a second gun. And check the clip the way my father taught me when I was 16. Our world doesn't allow for helpless women, even if we're expected to play the part. The office has a back entrance that leads to Lorenzo's bedroom. I move through it quickly, my heart hammering. More gunfire, shouting in Italian, the sound of breaking furniture. I crack open the bedroom door and peer into the hallway. 2 of Lorenzo's men are down, blood pooling beneath them. My stomach lurches, but I force myself to move past them, staying low, keeping the gun raised. The penthouse has been destroyed. Furniture overturned, art shredded by bullets, windows shattered. I count at least 6 bodies, some Lorenzo's men, some I don't recognize. Matteo brought an army. I find Lorenzo in the main living room, and my breath catches. He's fighting 3 men at once, and he's magnificent. This is the wolf unleashed, brutal, efficient, deadly. He moves like violence incarnate, all controlled fury and lethal precision. As I watch, he drops 1 man with a brutal twist, shoots another in the leg, and uses the 3rd as a human shield when more gunfire erupts. Then I see Matteo. He's across the room, partially hidden behind his remaining men, and he's staring at Lorenzo with naked hatred. His face is flushed, his expensive suit disheveled, and there's a manic energy to him I never saw during our engagement. "You always take everything from me," Matteo screams. "Father's approval, the family, and now her. You even took her." "She was never yours," Lorenzo growls, dropping the body he'd been using as a shield. "She was mine from the moment I saw her." "Then you can watch her die." Matteo's gun swings toward me before I can react, and time seems to slow. I see his finger tightening on the trigger, see Lorenzo's face twist in horror, see him start to move, too far away to reach me. I don't think. Just raise my own gun and fire. The recoil jolts through my arm. Matteo staggers, a red bloom spreading across his shoulder. His gun clatters to the floor. "You bitch," he hisses, clutching his shoulder. "You shot me." "I should have aimed for your head," I hear myself say, and I'm shocked by how calm I sound. "I read your file, Matteo. I know what you are." Something shifts in his expression, the mask finally, completely falling away. What's underneath makes my skin crawl. This is the real Matteo, entitled, vicious, weak. "Lorenzo showed you his little evidence collection, did he?" Matteo laughs, bitter and broken. "Did he also tell you about your father? About the real reason for the marriage pact?" "Shut your mouth," Lorenzo snarls, moving toward his brother with murder in his eyes. "She deserves to know," Matteo's voice rises, desperate. "Antonio Moretti didn't save our father's life, Chiara. He tried to have him killed. The entire debt is a fabrication. Your family has been playing ours for fools for years." The words hit like a physical blow. I look at Lorenzo, and the guilt in his eyes confirms it. Something in me cracks. The girl who believed her father was an honorable man dies right there on Lorenzo's ruined marble floor. "You knew," I whisper. "You knew my father." "Yes." Lorenzo's jaw clenches. "I've known for 6 months, since before I claimed you." "Then why—" My mind is racing, trying to piece it together. "If there's no debt, if the pact is fake, then why force the marriage?" "Because I wanted you," Lorenzo says simply, his eyes locked on mine. "Because the obsession was eating me alive. Because I needed an excuse, a justification that wouldn't start a war. The debt gave me that, even if it was built on lies." Matteo laughs again, the sound edging toward hysteria. "He used you, Chiara. Used the fake pact. Used me. Used everything to get what he wanted. You think you're special? You think his love means anything? Lorenzo doesn't love, he takes, just like father taught us." "I am nothing like our father," Lorenzo growls. "No?" Matteo's eyes are wild now. "You stole my fiancé, destroyed my life, took everything I wanted just because you could. How is that different?" "I saved her from you." Lorenzo's voice drops to something lethal. "From what you would have done to her. I've seen the pattern, Matteo. The women you charm, then break. The careful cruelty. The way you enjoy their pain. Did you really think I'd let you have Chiara? That I'd stand by and watch you destroy her? She wasn't yours to save. She is now." The 2 brothers stare at each other across the destroyed penthouse, and I see a lifetime of resentment, jealousy, and twisted family dynamics in that look. Matteo was raised to be weak by a father who despised weakness. Lorenzo was raised to be hard by a father who couldn't love. Both of them broken in different ways, but only one of them became a monster. It's over, Matteo, Lorenzo says quietly. Your men are dead or captured. You've lost. Walk away while you still can. Walk away? Matteo's laugh is sharp, painful. To what? You've taken everything, my position in the family, my wife, my future. There's nothing left. Then you should have been a better man. Something in Matteo snaps. I see it in his eyes. The moment he decides if he can't have what he wants, no one will. He lunges for the gun at his feet, and I know with terrible certainty that he's going to shoot Lorenzo. I don't hesitate. I fire again. This time, I don't miss. Matteo drops with a ragged shout, the gun skidding from his fingers. Blood spreads across the marble floor from his shoulder, and the sudden silence is deafening, broken only by his harsh, pained breathing. I shot him. I just shot Matteo. The gun slips from my shaking hands and clatters to the floor. I stare at him on the ground, at the blood, at the evidence of what I've just done, and I can't breathe. Can't think. Can't. Lorenzo is there suddenly, pulling me against his chest, his hands in my hair. Don't look, Dolcezza, don't look at him. I shot him, I whisper against his chest. I could have killed him. You saved my life. His arms tighten around me. You saved both of us. He would have shot me, and then he would have killed you. You did what you had to do. But I can still see Matteo's face, can still hear the gunshot, can still feel the recoil. Get her out of here, Lorenzo's voice is sharp, commanding, and I realize Maria has appeared from somewhere, her face pale but composed. Take care of her. I'll handle this. No. I pull back, force myself to stand on my own, even though my legs are shaking. I'm not leaving you to clean up my mess. Chiara. I shot him, Lorenzo. I pulled the trigger. I'm not running from that. If I'm going to stand at your side, I have to be able to live with the blood I spill. I meet his eyes, and I see surprise there, and something that might be respect. We handle this together. His hand cups my face, thumb brushing away tears I didn't realize were falling. Together, he says softly. Then, louder, to the men who are emerging from various corners of the penthouse. Clean this up, all of it, and find out who helped Matteo get past our security. I want names by morning. The next hours blur together. Police arrive, on the Rossi payroll clearly, and accept Lorenzo's version of events without question. Self-defense, an attempted coup by the younger brother. Matteo is taken away on a stretcher under heavy guard, bleeding but alive. The blood is cleaned. By dawn, you'd barely know a battle had been fought here. I sit in Lorenzo's study, wrapped in a blanket, watching the sun rise over the city. I should feel something, guilt, horror, regret, but I'm numb, empty. Drink this. Lorenzo presses a glass of amber liquid into my hands, brandy. I take a sip and cough as it burns down my throat. He sits beside me, and for a long moment we're silent. Then, your father will be dealt with, quietly. I won't kill him, he's still your father, but his operations will be absorbed into mine. His power, gone. It's the price for his deception. I don't care. And I realize it's true. Whatever love I had for my father died when he sold me to save his own skin. Do what you need to do. And us? Lorenzo's voice is careful. What happens with us, Chiara? I turn to look at him, really look at him. This man who stole me, who obsessed over me, who built his entire plan around a fake debt just to have me, who fights like a demon and looks at me like I'm his salvation. This man who I pulled the trigger for. You lied to me, I say quietly, about the debt, about my father. You manipulated everything to get what you wanted. Yes, but you also saved me from Matteo. Showed me the truth about him, even if it meant showing me how obsessed you are. You could have just taken me, used me, but you gave me time, gave me choices, even within my cage. I tried. His hand finds mine, fingers interlacing. I'm not a good man, Chiara. I'm possessive and obsessive, and I will never let you go. But I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you. You can't cage me, I say. I won't be your prisoner, Lorenzo. If we're doing this, If we're really trying to make this marriage work, it has to be as equals, partners. Partners. He tests the word, and I see the exact moment he commits to it. Queen to my king. You want power in the family? It's yours. You want autonomy? You have it. You want to rebuild everything my father created into something less brutal? I'll help you do it. Why? Why give me any of that? Because keeping you in a cage will kill everything I love about you. His hand tightens on mine. And because you just proved you're stronger than half my men. You didn't fall apart. You didn't freeze. You saw the threat and you eliminated it. You're exactly what I need beside me. I should probably think about this more. Should take time to process everything, the violence, the death, the revelations about my father. But I'm so tired of being powerless. So tired of having my choices made for me. With Lorenzo, I could have real power, real choice. Yes, he's obsessed with me, but he's also willing to let me be strong, to let me be dangerous, to let me be me. Okay, I say. He blinks. Okay? Partners, equals. I'll be your queen. I turn to face him fully, but I have conditions. Name them. No more lies, no more manipulations. If you want something from me, you ask. Agreed. I want access to everything, the businesses, the books, the operations. I want to know what I'm really part of. Done. And I hesitate, then force myself to continue. I want you to tell me the truth about who you lost, about what broke you, about everything that made you into this. Pain flashes across his face, raw and deep. That's not an easy story, Dolcezza. I know, but if we're partners, I need to understand you, all of you. He's silent for a long moment, and I think he's going to refuse. Then, her name was Isabella, my younger sister. I was 19, she was 16. She fell in love with the son of a rival family, and I wanted to protect her, so I helped them run away together. His voice is flat, emotionless, but I can see the pain in every line of his body. My father found out. He saw it as weakness, me choosing love over family loyalty. So he taught me a lesson. Lorenzo's jaw clenches. He had them both killed, made me watch, made sure I understood that love, caring for anyone, was a weakness that would destroy everything. Damn, I breathe. Lorenzo. I tried to be what he wanted after that, tried to feel nothing, but the anger, the guilt, it never went away. And then I saw you at that gala, and for the first time in 10 years, I felt something other than rage. I felt alive. His eyes meet mine, and they're haunted. It terrified me, because everyone I've ever loved has died, and I couldn't let that happen to you. So I told myself it was just obsession, just need, not love, never love. But it is love, I say softly, isn't it? Twisted and obsessive and probably unhealthy, but love nonetheless. Yes, the admission seems torn from him. I love you, Chiara. I have since the moment I saw you, and it terrifies me because I don't know how to love without destroying. I reach up, cup his face the way he's done to me so many times. Then we'll figure it out together. We'll build something different from what your father made. Something that doesn't require us to destroy who we are. You're not afraid of me, his voice is almost wondering. After everything you've seen, I'm terrified of you, I admit. But I'm also drawn to you. This thing between us, this chemistry, it's not going away. And maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, or trauma bonding, or something equally unhealthy. But I don't care anymore. I'm tired of fighting it. Chiara, my name is a prayer on his lips. Are you sure? Instead of answering, I kiss him. It's different from our wedding kiss. From our desperate encounter on the couch. This is a choice, a claiming. I pour everything into it. My anger and fear and reluctant affection. My desire and confusion and acceptance. Lorenzo responds with a groan, pulling me onto his lap, his hands gripping my waist like I might disappear. The kiss turns hungry, desperate. And when I rock against him, feeling his hardness beneath me, he makes a sound that's almost pained. Dolcezza, he gasps against my mouth. If you keep doing that, I won't be able to stop. Then don't stop. I pull back enough to meet his eyes. We're married, Lorenzo. We're partners. I choose this. I choose you. Something fierce and possessive flares in his eyes. He stands, lifting me with him, my legs wrapping around his waist. Say it again. I choose you. He carries me to his bedroom, our bedroom now, kicking the door closed behind us. The sun is fully up, golden light streaming through the windows, and I can see every detail of his face as he lays me on the bed. I need to know you're sure, he says, his hands shaking as they frame my face. Because once I have you, once I make you mine completely, there's no going back. I will never let you go. I'm sure. I reach for his shirt, start unbuttoning it with trembling fingers. I want this. I want you. He helps me remove his shirt, and I finally see all of him, the scars, the tattoos, the evidence of a violent life written across his skin. He's beautiful and terrifying, and when he reaches for my dress, I don't stop him. The fabric slides off, leaving me in just my underwear, and Lorenzo's eyes go dark with hunger. You're perfect, he breathes, every single part of you. His hands map my body with reverent intensity, my shoulders, my ribs, my hips. When his fingers hook into my panties, I lift my hips to help him remove them, and then I'm bare before him. Touch me, I whisper, and he groans. His hand slides between my thighs, and the moment his touch finds me, his control fractures. All this for me? Yes, Lorenzo, please. He kisses me as his hand moves with slow, devastating intent. Pleasure builds, heat coiling tighter and tighter in my belly. My hips move against him, chasing the sensation until it crests and breaks. The release crashes through me like a wave, and I cry out his name, my body arching off the bed. Lorenzo holds me through it, murmuring praise in Italian, his eyes fixed on my face like he's memorizing every expression. When I come back to myself, he's still fully dressed from the waist down, his arousal obvious and straining against his slacks. Your turn, I say breathlessly, reaching for his belt. He catches my hands, brings them to his lips. Not yet. Tonight, after the sun sets, after we've both had time to process everything, then I'll make you mine completely. But right now, we both need rest. But I can wait. He pulls me against his chest, wrapping us both in the blankets. I've waited a year for you, Dolcezza. A few more hours won't kill me. I want to argue, but exhaustion is pulling at me, the adrenaline crash finally hitting. Lorenzo's arms are strong and warm around me, and for the first time since he took me, I feel safe. Sleep, he murmurs against my hair. I'll keep watch. And despite everything, the violence, the death, the chaos, I do. I wake to darkness and the smell of sandalwood. Lorenzo is pressed against my back, his arm heavy across my waist, his breath warm against my neck. For a moment, I just lie there, processing. I'm in Lorenzo Rossi's bed. I shot his brother. I'm married to a man who admits he's obsessed with me. My father is a traitor. My entire life has been upended. And somehow, impossibly, I'm okay with it. You're thinking too loud, Lorenzo murmurs, his lips brushing my shoulder. I can hear your mind working. Just processing. Regrets? I turn in his arms to face him. In the dim light from the city outside, I can just make out his features, the strong jaw, the intense eyes, the mouth that's kissed me senseless. No regrets. Good. His hand slides down my spine, pulling me closer, because I'm done holding back. He kisses me, and this time there's no gentleness, no restraint, just raw need and desperate hunger. I kiss him back just as fiercely, my hands exploring the hard planes of his chest, the ridges of muscle, the scars that tell stories I want to learn. He rolls us so he's above me, his body pressing me into the mattress, and I can feel every hard inch of him through the thin barrier of his slacks. I reach between us, work his belt open, and he groans into my mouth. Chiara. I want this, I breathe against his lips. I want you, all of you. He stands long enough to shed his remaining clothes, and then he's back, skin against skin, and the sensation steals my breath. He's hard and hot and mine, and when he settles between my thighs, I wrap my legs around him. Look at me, he commands. And I do. His eyes are molten, desperate. I love you. I've loved you since the moment I saw you, and I will love you until my last breath. Lorenzo. He kisses me as he finally joins us completely, slowly, carefully, giving me time to adjust to the intensity of him. The feeling is almost too much, a sharp edge of overwhelm wrapped in a rush of staggering relief and pleasure. When he's fully joined to me, we both go still, just breathing, connected in the most intimate way possible. Move, I finally gasp, and he does. The rhythm he finds is slow, deep, devastating. Every measured roll of his hips sends sparks through my body, and I cling to him, my nails digging into his shoulders, my breath coming in broken gasps. You feel perfect, he groans against my neck. Like you were made for me. Mia, Regina, my queen. The praise, the possession in his voice, the way he's touching me like I'm precious and breakable, and it's all too much. Pressure builds again, tighter and hotter than before, coiling low and bright until I can barely remember my own name. Lorenzo, I can't. Let go, he murmurs, his mouth at my ear. Let go, Dolcezza. I've got you. The world narrows to his voice, his hands, the steady, relentless way he holds me, as everything inside me finally snaps. I break with a choked cry, pleasure crashing through me in blinding waves. Lorenzo follows me into that free fall with a hoarse groan, his rhythm faltering as he clings to me like I'm the only thing anchoring him to this world. Mine. This dangerous, obsessive, broken man is mine. We collapse together, tangled and gasping, and Lorenzo rolls us so I'm sprawled across his chest. His heart is hammering beneath my ear, matching the frantic pace of mine. I start, but words fail me. Perfect, he finishes. You're perfect. We lie there in silence for a while, just breathing, processing what just happened. Finally, Lorenzo speaks. What happens now? He asks quietly. I prop myself up on his chest to look at him. Now? Now we build something new. A partnership. A marriage that's real, not forced. An empire that's ours together. You want to help me run the family? I want to help you transform it, I correct. Take the power, the resources, and use them for something better than what your father built. We can't erase the violence, but we can redirect it. Choose our battles carefully. Protect people instead of just using them. He stares at me like I'm a revelation. You're serious. Completely. You gave me power, Lorenzo. Let me use it. I trace the line of his jaw. Besides, you need someone to keep you from becoming your father. Consider me your conscience. My conscience and my queen. He pulls me down for a kiss, sweet and lingering. I think I can live with that. Good, because you don't have a choice. I smile against his lips. You're stuck with me now. Best cage I've ever been in, he murmurs, and I laugh. We lose ourselves in each other again before dawn. Once slow and sweet, once wild with everything we've survived. And by the time the sun rises, I'm exhausted and aching in the best way, happier than I have any right to be. Lorenzo watches me from across the bed, his eyes soft in the morning light. No regrets? He asks again. No regrets, I confirm. You? My only regret is that I didn't take you sooner. He pulls me back into his arms. But we have time now, all the time in the world. And lying there, wrapped in the arms of the man who stole me, who obsessed over me, who I pulled the trigger for, I believe him. We have time, and we're going to build something extraordinary, together.